All rise.
Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. Good morning. So we're here for the sentencing of Hallie Maczko. It is case number 2023-03-0861. And I believe the state would like to proceed first.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. We received the defendant's pre-sentence investigation. The state would posit that this is an egregious set of facts. This is not the defendant's first OVI. Multiple OVIs here, at least looks like 4. Your Honor, in this case, the state recommends a maximum sentence of 8 years. We do have some victim representatives who would like to be heard today.
And who would like to speak first? Yes. Good morning.
Hi, thanks for allowing us to happen today. My name is John Shull. I am the brother of deceased, my brother Robert Dale Shull Jr. He was born on November 21st, 1953, and unfortunately died February 19th, 2023. He went to bed and he never got up. This is an unfortunate incident. He spent 25 years in the Navy as a Navy corpsman, helping people around the world. And unfortunately, he had retired about 10, 15 years ago from the Navy, and a second job after that, and retired from that in the last couple of years. He was just starting to enjoy his life. He had literally survived a heart attack 2 years ago and a stroke. He rehabbed back from that. He was doing very, very well. He had a new lease on life, a second chance, and unfortunately that chance was taken from him. Now, first, before I get into this, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I feel so bad for both sides of our family, but I have to say what I have to say. I spent 35 years in emergency medicine, practicing and in charge of EMS in Cleveland for the last 17 years of my career. I have seen tons of trauma. This is one of the most traumatic events I've ever seen. Ruptured lung, fractured vertebrae, 8 fractured ribs, head trauma, cervical spine trauma. Literally, he drowned in his own blood in his bed because he couldn't move, he couldn't breathe. I've had tons of patients that have been alcoholics. I've had tons of patients who have been overdoses. I've reversed hundreds of opioid overdoses. And what I found out in my 35 years in emergency medicine was they do it again and again. I've literally had patients I've seen twice in a 24-hour period, and they would ask me after I reversed them, how long does this drug you gave me work? Because they wanted to use again. I always try to see the best in everybody. I always try to give everybody a second chance, but I'm telling you from my experience, sometimes it just doesn't work, period. You can go to rehab, you can have all the different types of therapy available to you. It's possible. Loving families, which obviously she does have, they're supporting her. But after 4 OBIs, to go work in a bar, to put yourself in an environment where you would have ability to do what she did is just wrong. So if she does not get the maximum sentence here, we need to really think about ourselves as a society. We cannot enable people. We cannot allow them to get back into a car. And even just revoking the driver's license and giving it back to them in a couple of months doesn't stop that. Revoking their driver's license for life doesn't stop that, because they'll get back in their car, they will do it again. I don't care what people say when they go through rehab, they can have the best results ever and say they're good, but one traumatic thing can change. I'm just telling you, for us as a society of laws and mores, we need to give her the maximum sentence allowable by law, to give her the longest time to be out of that, to protect us and everybody else in these courtrooms, family members, our children, our fellow police officers on the side of the road, our firefighters, even in the hospital where these events happen.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw.
Not Dr. Shull, should be.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, you said emergency
Yeah,
medicine.
paramedic.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know, and I appreciate everything that you said and how you feel. I can't even imagine losing a sibling in this sort of way. I really can't imagine it. And so I am really feeling for your family. But I want you to understand how things normally work. Unless there's a trial where a family is put through that, a maximum sentence does not happen. It doesn't usually happen. Now, in this case, because of what happened, it would be at the higher tier, but it would not be the maximum. And I don't want you to leave here angry, because she's not going to be sentenced to 8 years, but it's going to be at the higher end because of her history. These are the most tragic of all cases. And what I see mostly is a much younger person who has never had an OBI before make one fatal mistake in a car accident where they kill someone. And there is mandatory prison time that attaches every time someone passes away as a result of an alcohol-related death. So I don't want you to come out of here angry, and I don't want you to think that justice isn't going to be served. Okay?
Yes, I understand.
Your Honor, we do have one more victim who would like to speak. Yeah, this person is on Zoom.
Tina Shull.
Tina Shaw.
Yes.
Good morning, Tina.
Good morning.
This is Judge Michael. I am so
Hello.
sorry for the loss of your brother. What is it?
It is not my brother. It is my father-in-law.
Oh, to father-in-law.
Yes.
What would you like for me to know?
I would like. Hold on. It's okay. The fact that she took a great aunt, the grandfather, my children, and she deserves everything that you can give her. I have to listen to my 6-year-old tell me how much she misses her body, Shaw, every day. Because that day that she killed him, we was going to get to see him for the first time in 2 years because of all the heart attacks he had. We didn't get to because we got to the news that he died. Because her poor choices. And that's it.
Thank you for having the courage to say something today. Is there anyone else that would like to speak at this time? No. Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I did have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation. I appreciate that. As the court is aware, I'm sure Ms. Maczko is 33 years old. She has no prior felony record. This is her third OBI offense in 10 years, fourth lifetime. She graduated from Green High School in 2008, spent 2 years at Kent State University, and I have tried to supply the court with a letter from all different parts of Ms. Maczko's life. You have before you letters from family members, from friends, from co-workers, and they talk about the person who was not involved in this incident because they weren't there, they didn't see her, and they see someone else, the whole picture of who Hallie is. And they talk about a kind, compassionate person who is a good family person. Judge, I think we have some sense of how we got here without excusing anything, but to explain and talking to Hallie to try to get a sense of what was going on in your life that led you to again offend and consume as much alcohol as you did. In December of late last year, her boyfriend had left her, went to Colorado. She changed jobs where she was previously at for about 6 years, and then on February 17th, probably the most traumatic event of her life occurred. She lost her grandfather. This person was a father figure for her. She had spent weeks and weeks caring for him, spending the night with him. They had family members that were there on 8-hour shifts to care for him at the end of his life. And Hallie talks about, rather than dealing with that grief and that loss, she went to work the next day. She went to work the following day. And on the 19th, 2 days after he passed, is when this happened. Your Honor, I again tried to present the court with what I think is genuine remorse on behalf of Ms. Maczko. She's written a letter of apology. Her father has authored a short paragraph that he would like me to read for the family. Sorry, thank you. And this is on behalf of Carl Maczko. I deeply and humbly am sorry for the tragedy that your family has suffered as a result of my daughter's action. My daughter, myself, and my family want to express our deepest sorrow. There is not a day that goes by that I don't pray for your family. I know those prayers must be difficult to accept or hear, but I will continue throughout my final days. I don't know if I will ever be able to understand the tragic loss and deep emotions that you and your family are going through, but I would only hope that one day you're able to find some peace and closure now that this matter is resolved. Again, my deepest sympathy for you and your family. And Ms. Maczko did accept responsibility for this. She did plead guilty. We tried to resolve this relatively quickly. There were a lot of records that we had to go through and review. She also, Your Honor, has since her arrest, I think her post-arrest conduct, she's been on scram, as this court knows, since February. She's never had any incidents, no incidents of alcohol. She's been sober, she's been clean. I did provide the court with a certificate from IBH. We all know IBH is one of the most well-respected treatment programs here in Summit County, if not the state or the nation. She completed their IOP program on August 11th. I also presented the court with AA verification, and by my tally, since Ms. Maczko was arrested in this case, she's attended 164 AA meetings. So there's nothing she knows she can say or do to take away the pain. She accepts responsibility. She is remorseful for her conduct, and I know she has something she would like to say to you and the family as well, Your Honor.
Why don't you sit in the witness chair and turn the light on so that everybody can hear what you have to say.
I want to begin by saying that I'm so very sorry, and I want to apologize to the entire Shull family. Everything that I've learned about Robert Shull tells me he was a good, decent man, and I know how devastated you are by his loss. Need you to know that I want to change and I'm ready. I'm an alcoholic and I can never drink or take drugs again. In the past, I've lied to myself and my family about my addiction, and Mr. Shull's death forced me to face my disease and ask and pray for help. I'm going to continue my sobriety and counseling while I'm in prison and when I get released, and I am going to dedicate my life to staying sober and becoming a better person. And I just want to say again how sorry I am that we're all here. Thank you very much.
It is so unfortunate that it took such a tragic event for you to see how your addiction can affect other people. It affected everyone in your family, I'm sure. It affected your body. It affected your mind. And now something has happened that can never be reversed. I'm glad that you've been sober since this happened, that it was a shock to your system. But I'm sorry that it took this event to do it. And not had you just not gotten behind the wheel of a car that night, Mr. Shull would still be alive. And his family would not be suffering this kind of loss. At least not at this time, when his life was cut short. I hope that there are programs that you can engage in while you're in prison. And I hope that there is some kind of training program that you can engage in while you're there. That the years that you will be spending in prison, that you will somehow be able to reflect on everything that's happened up until this point in your life. And that you make a hard turn. And that you really do try to better yourself. Your sentence, as I was explaining to Mr. Shull, is not going to be the maximum sentence, although that's what is pro forma is recommended by the prosecutor. Your sentence today is going to be 6 to 9 years in the penitentiary. And there is this mandatory time. You're not going to be able to be released any earlier than 6 years, and 6 to 9 depending on what your behavior is while you're at the penitentiary. I know you've never been incarcerated in a penitentiary before. Your driver's license will be revoked for your life. You'll never be able to legally drive again. That is small comfort to his family, though. You have to take this seriously. You haven't so far because you kept engaging in the same kind of behavior. You have to take it seriously. You have to change your life. You have to make this turn at this point. There's nothing more I can say. All right, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Did anyone else want to say anything?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
No, there's just the 2 other offenses that she
Oh, I'm sorry. That would be for count 1. For count 2, operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drug abuse or a combination of them. What is the mandatory fine on a third in 10 years?
It's $850.
$850, and that's a mandatory fine I'll be imposing, as well as a 180-day jail sentence, which by law must run concurrent and not consecutive with count 1, which is 6 to 9 years. Count 5, possession of cocaine, a 5th-degree felony, sentencing you to 1 year in the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. That will also run concurrent so that your total sentence will be 6 to 9 years in the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. It's 6 to 10 depending on what your behavior is while you're at the penitentiary. As long as you follow their rules, then you should be able to be released for 6 years.
Judge, I think there was a count 4 and also an F5.
I thought that was dismissed. I only have the charges.
She pled to all 4.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I think we only dismissed the redundant ODI charges.
I think that's
Okay.
accurate.
So it's count 1, count 2. Oh, I see. Count 6. Count 6 is also aggravated possession of drugs, a 5th-degree felony. That also will be a 1-year Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections sentence, and running concurrent and not consecutive with count 1 for a total of 6 to 9 years in the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. This is a tragic situation, no matter how you look at it. You're a 33-year-old young woman going into the penitentiary system with very violent offenders. You'll be there for 6 years. When you come out, you'll never be the same. But maybe this is what needed to happen for you to make this hard turn in your life towards sobriety. And I know this case has been pending for a while, and I know you've been sober, and I know that you've been going to AA meetings, and I hope that you'll be able to continue to do all of that when you're at the institution. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
By the way, I don't believe that Stephanie works on it. Okay, what's good to meet you? Yes, I'm sure. Thank you.